All right, now we're sending data. Now we're streaming on Twitch.
Do you know what the password?
Yep, the usual.
And then one, like the number one after?
Yep. There's also a punctuation at the end, too.
Oh, okay.
Can't be too specific, though, now that we're streaming on all the things.
Yeah, no, but it worked. I just couldn't remember that we had that on there.
All right. So, per usual, we'll wait till we get to 5 viewers and officially start the stream or the episode with a slightly new intro video. So,
Dude, just
Lucas
play
with
it
his
now.
new camera.
Play it now. Let's do it.
Play it now?
Yeah, who cares?
I've only got 2 people, though. And it's
Yeah,
probably both of us.
the people that rewatch it don't want to watch
The little like
bunch of
5-minute annoying stuff at the beginning. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, we will start the stream. We'll see you guys here in just a second.
Warning. The following podcast episode is a couple of the same old jerk-offs talking about happenings in the axe-throwing world. It is meant to be informative, but can sometimes be downright boring. If you get bored, that's okay. You can stop watching, because someone else might find this informative. The opinions discussed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of our peers or any axe-throwing organization. We hope you enjoy the show.
And welcome to another episode of Sit Your Axe Down. Hope you enjoyed our slightly different intro featuring a miniature cupcake eating contest from the tournament in Arizona in March. But yeah, welcome to episode 31. This is our first episode since before Worlds. Hopefully my audio is not crackling. I think I left it up a little bit too high. I can kind of hear it crackling in my mic, but...
doesn't seem to be for me.
Okay, good. That's good. All right, but yeah. First episode since before Worlds, so we've got a few tournaments to talk about, including Worlds. We'll talk about the Bulls over the Passaic tournament that was at Jersey Axe House. And then ThrOhio, which was this past weekend. And so, but first, last night on the drive home, we caught the end of the Pacers-Cavs game. Did you bet on that?
I did. Cleveland let me down.
Cleveland let you down? Oh, no faith. No faith.
I
no
just thought at home, they would get the job done.
I did too.
One.
Even without Garland, I thought they would at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just looked too good. But Pacers are for real.
We'll see. That's one game.
It's one game.
Long series.
Yeah. Yeah, Nimhard was, doing his best Caitlin Clark impersonation, though. He was shooting from the logo.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get to, I watched that game, but I was, halfway watching. So our flight got delayed a bunch.
Oh, I'm sure. It was a very rainy drive home.
Yeah, our flight got delayed, 3 hours-ish or something.
Oh, shoot.
Get home till, midnight. But we hung out at Tyler's for a little bit. So the game was on in the background while we were just, hanging out.
Nice.
And Cleveland kept, thinking about getting close.
Yeah.
And then it would just start sucking again. But then the Golden State game did happen, yes. And that one was, Steph sucked at the first 3 quarters. And then, but Buddy Hield apparently decided to be good.
Yep.
He had 8 threes.
I was very sad when we traded Buddy.
Yeah.
I think we traded him to the 76ers. Now he's Golden State.
Yeah, it was definitely his best game in a while, defensively and offensively. You would have made a lot of money if you would have bet like 6 or 7 threes for Buddy Hield.
Who else played last night? Somebody else played.
No, I think it was just those 2 games.
Denver didn't play?
No, they play tonight. They play OKC tonight.
They played 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's what it was. They were still talking about it today on.
Maybe 3 days because I don't know if they got 1 or 2 days off between. But OKC has had like a spring break and then beat Memphis in like 4 or 5 days and then another spring break.
Yeah.
So they should be very well rested for tonight.
Yeah, which could be bad.
Yeah, it could, like, maybe they'll be rusty, but I don't know. I think like the only chance is if like Jokic just has like a game of, one of his games. Maybe that's enough to stop him, but OKC's good.
Yeah, they're very good. All right, but you guys didn't tune in to hear us talk about the NBA playoffs, so we'll talk axe throwing. What was that?
They might have.
They might have. Or at least like if you're tuning in to like place bets on games.
Yeah.
So
maybe they want to know. I got a couple of plays of the day.
Be thinking about questions for us though, because at some point we, if we get through the placement stuff that we want to talk about, we'll take some questions from you guys, or we'll, if you have questions, feel free to pop them in the chat and interrupt us, and we will just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about in between, because just hearing the placements could be boring.
Just screen share your Excel sheet. It'll be easier.
Screen share?
Yeah, just make it one of the things.
Well, it's not like centered in the screen.
Oh, well, just send me the...
Well, I do have some abbreviations. I don't know that...
it's fine. Send me the...
Put Tommy and Sebastian's
send me a
team
link
name
to the Drive. I'll make it my background.
I don't actually have it in Drive, but I could do it in Drive really quick. Let me just copy.
It probably wouldn't work anyways, because as I would move to show things, the camera would just
camera would do that, yeah. I'm surprised that it wouldn't pick up your hand gestures to like shift it over to show what you were showing. Ooh, phone's ringing. Don't know who that is. Okay, let me get my screen set up again so I can see. Okay, so we'll start with Worlds. What do you guys think in the chat about Worlds? If you guys have comments, pop them in here about Worlds. We can chat about those. I did kind of a lot of placements for Worlds only because I thought like it'd be cool to mention some of the people, because there's a handful of people whose names aren't normally up there on some of the disciplines that it would be cool to mention. So I did through essentially T9 and everything except for the duels things, just because there's a lot more names in duels. So what did we do first at Worlds? Knife duels?
Yeah, knife duels.
Knife duels first. So we'll start there. We'll start with the 5th place finishers. So the teams who tied for 5th were the Chummy Water Boys, which was Christopher Dubois and Stephen Fort. And then we got Wasp and Harpy, which is Coleman Bates and Justin Reese. Then tied for 3rd place, we had Battle Cut, which was the team of Zach Van and Tony Luce. And Throw Pros, which was Lucas and myself. Then in 2nd place, we had Kinson's Meatballs, which was Kinson Michelle. Ooh. Is my microphone freaking out?
No.
So it's just freaking out in my ears.
Sound like you're just talking.
Oh, it's probably because I have my cell phone sitting on my headphone wire, and it just vibrated. Probably just some interference. So, sorry, Kinson's Meatballs, which was Kinson Michelle and Matt Ball. And then the winners of Knife Duels were Can't Understand Normal Talk, which was Tommy and Sebastian. What was that?
Uh, yeah, so Knife Duels was fun until I threw my worst games in the finals. That was cool. Um,
I was just happy that I didn't throw like I did the night before when we did
oh, the relay.
the relay thing. Yeah, I figured
Um,
it out.
Scott St. Clair says great time, but just need to fix the schedule. So, yeah, what do you think the schedule should be, Scott? If you had to if you had to create the schedule, what would be ideal for you? I don't know how much they could really fix the schedule, other than just calling games more efficiently would help.
Yeah, I think
But
there was with the calling of games, and then I noticed. I think it was during knife duels as well, knife and knife duels, that they kind of like skipped targets, skipped lanes. And I think I heard the reasoning was like they didn't want to because knives can be loud. They didn't want to cause any distractions, which I thought was weird. I mean, I would just, especially it was more as it dwindled down rather than playing matches and like they could have started other discipline type stuff, which
yeah.
I guess that was more in Hatchet than anything. But
So I kind of hope they don't do that, Scott, just because that means that people will definitely then have to come in early or on Wednesday or earlier in the week. Um, and that doesn't really help any of the other days if they just do knife duels. I don't, I don't have a personal preference on which one they do first out of those, but I think I would prefer for duels to be first, probably. Um,
sure.
just because it's not maybe as important as single knife, but um, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the
Go with your way.
biggest thing. I mean, I didn't really notice like that time or schedule was really a big issue until Hatchet.
Hatchet was
Um,
the biggest issue, and that was just because they
that was how they decided they wanted to
weren't.
run one at a time.
Yeah, that was because they weren't running them like as soon as we got enough lanes, let's start the next bracket. They were waiting too long. But then,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
so
essentially what they did was they ran one bracket at a time rather than what we've done at tournaments, and really I think they did it at Tulsa Worlds, or the worlds before this. Essentially, like once you get to a certain spot in the bracket and you're capable to run enough lanes into the next bracket, go ahead and start that bracket.
yeah,
And they didn't do that, and that would have saved a lot of time. Like, if you go bracket by bracket, like I think after the first bracket, if they had started the second one, at that point it would have saved like 30 minutes. But like compounding that over four brackets, it was, a handful of hours.
yeah. Ooh, yeah, it would be very hard. Ben Pleasanton said first worlds take that for what you will, but it would be nice to end Saturday so Sunday can be a travel day. Unfortunately, there's usually just not enough time to do the finals on Saturday. I mean, if they're going to continue to try to have a broadcast of any sort, it'll be hard. Um, because they have to have a time to actually do that, and they can't really devote an hour each time after the brackets are done to do each one individually and then put them together type of thing, if they want it to be as professional as they're trying to make it. So I don't know how that would play out. I don't know how you could really cut out Sunday. But I do agree that yeah, it would be nice to be able to travel Sunday. I think some people you could still go Sunday night because usually the broadcast is early-ish. I think this was one of the later broadcasts actually,
Agree.
because typically it's early in the morning Sunday. Well, the days are already long. I mean, I was throwing hatchet till 1:30 a.m. or on Sunday technically. So I mean, yeah, it definitely are very long days, and I don't know how you could really get rid of that.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you were to try to cram everything, and it would be very late.
Yeah. But I think they could have just saved a lot of time by doing the brackets back to back instead of waiting for the middle and then waiting to have a picture. A photo was kind of a bad idea between brackets.
Yeah, Friday was the hatchet day. I think too, like on that particular day, mixing knife. It was knife and hatchet, correct?
Was there only duels on Thursday? No, I don't
Correct.
even
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It was just knife duels Thursday night, and then I
Yeah.
believe knife or hatchet and knife or knife and hatchet, whichever one, Friday,
Yeah.
and then big axe and hatchet duels on
Yeah.
Saturday, and then but also those the knife and the hatchet probably shouldn't be on the same day. Just because those knife can take a little while.
It's usually not the one that takes a while though. It's just the way that the targets are built for worlds
True.
that you have to walk around to
Right.
score the knives. So it just kind of doesn't really work out. And there's no way to really like
Fix that.
factor that time. There's no way unless they redesign how they build the targets. Then
Which I don't know that there's a. I think regardless, whatever way, whether you put them forward, put the braces forward or backwards, it's still gonna have a little bit sticking out.
well, like my target at home has nothing in the front
That
or has very little.
that's true, but if you stick them in the back, then you
Yeah, you
decrease
make
the
the
amount of
grooves.
space behind. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I know why they're in there, but
Um,
at least you
Sam,
get
the
a lot
answer to
of
your
grooves.
question is no. I have not been able to locate them yet. They must just hate Indiana and not want us to have them here. So
What kind of Doritos you looking for?
I think they were like white cheddar or something like that.
Hmm, haven't heard of them.
He had
But
them
yeah,
in
I mean,
Cleveland.
the problem with the walking around them too is that for knife, it did cause some issues with like people. I heard of multiple and saw firsthand people like foot faulting because they were calling the scores on one and then walking around and calling the other score, and it's just hard to remember that they're going to take 5 to 10 seconds between calling each target. So I know a few people.
Yeah, if you are judging and you are calling one side before the other, don't stop and look at the throwers when you call the numbers,
Or
because
just
that's
don't say
confusing.
the
So
just don't say the numbers. Actually, just
yeah, just
put
call
them in
them
the
all at the
tablet.
same time.
Yeah, yeah. Just call all six knives at the same time, not three knives. Wait 10 seconds till you get to the other board, then three more knives.
Yep, just makes it confusing.
Yeah, but that's a little thing. It's kind of hard to complain too much when all of the people were volunteers. So
Yeah,
not
just
really.
maybe something that they could add to like the judges training or something for next year.
Yeah,
So
but again, they're learning it in 30 minutes, so
true.
kind of
All
hard.
right, so we'll go on to
All
uh,
right, so next was knife.
individual knife. Yeah,
Yeah. So tied for ninth, Justin Reese, Neil Rust, TJ Schultz, who I hadn't seen in a long time. I don't
I
even know
don't
if I can.
even know that I saw him at Worlds. When I was putting that in, I was like, I don't remember even seeing him.
Yeah, I think I saw him for a second. And then Steven Thorgerson. Those were all tied ninth. Tied seventh, Sebastian Arnold, Brett Jerbeck. Tied to Matt Ball and Tyler Flynn. Tyler Flynn with the low score of the weekend, a 6 in an entire game. Congratulations. Um, tied for third, Tommy and Michael Theodoro.
I was very happy to see Theo.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
me too. I wasn't as excited when he beat me in the A final or the semifinal. I wasn't as excited to see him, but then he was nice and he kind of like ran out of steam and let me win a couple of games against him a little later. So it was all good. And then myself in second and Coleman taking home the win on Sunday.
Yeah, that was knife. I did not do as well in as I would have liked to have done, but it was.
Sebastian, yeah, we know he was there. He got ninth place. Come on.
Yeah, it was good to see people who haven't you haven't seen them do well there. So
Yeah. All right, what was after that? Big Axe? Hatchet? Big Axe?
Hatchet was next after knife. So
Oh yeah, because that's Friday. Okay. Hatchet. I wanted to do a little research on this. I wanted to see like how how people were like seated before, but I didn't have time to look. So maybe I'll do that in a second. But tied for ninth, Zach Lund, George Sanchez, Kyle Rickenbaugh, and Neil Rust.
so I finished in the exact spot that I was seated 10th, technically. By if you go by the bullseye percentage is what they kind of use when they do the final placements. So
Oh, for that, like
yeah,
breaking it down. Gotcha. David Klein, Zach Strobus, John Cotter, and Sean Howe all tied for fifth. And then,
which was second in their bracket.
correct.
Yep.
Yeah, the played in a game that could have taken them to the broadcast. Yeah, and then tied for third, myself and Justin Reese, and then Nick Colomaya taking second, and Dylan Teets winning the Hatchet tournament. I'm gonna actually look it up.
Yeah, while you're looking it up, Sebastian said there were some interesting high seeds that didn't get anywhere. So I guess we'll see that here when Lucas gets it pulled up. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool. I think Zach and John finishing tied fifth. Like, they've only been throwing for, I mean, competitively for maybe like 2 years.
Who?
John Cotter and Strobus.
Oh,
Does that sound right? I mean, it could be longer than that. I just feel like time flies, but
yeah. I mean, at least a little bit, but yeah. Does this take me? All right. So yeah. Interesting. Let's see. So Nick Colomaya was the 25th seed, and he got second. Dylan was the 2 seed, aka, I mean, he was the 1 seed and he won, so that's pretty good. Justin Reese was the 3 seed and he got third. And I was the 4th seed and got third or 4th or whatever.
third, yep.
So that's kind of interesting that I think this is one of the first times that, I mean, the top seed in 3 of the 4 brackets made it out.
Yeah.
And again, no disrespect to Garrett, but did not expect him to be the one to make it out of his bracket. I think he ended up still doing pretty well. But just because the game had changed so much, didn't think his throw really suited the 15-foot as well. So, other than that, the next highest person was you at 10. Neil was 13th seed. John Cotter was the 21 seed. Yes, I mean there's several people that finished pretty high. So let's see.
I'd be interested. What was Sean seated?
35th.
Okay. I was gonna say I feel like he may have lost his venues in that area too to compete, like throw league and stuff. So I mean that could have been
possibly
factor because I mean he threw really well out at in Colorado.
I was trying to see who else was on that list. David Klein. Oh, I don't know where he's at on here. I'll see it immediately. He was the 80th seed and finished tied for fifth, and he actually won the A bracket for bracket one, and then I think got double dipped by Colmayo.
Oh yeah.
I think also I know that John Cotter won my bracket.
Right. You double dipped him then.
And I double dipped him, and then I don't know if Dylan lost any games. I doubt it.
Dylan won A because it was me and
Yeah.
Dylan in the A finals, and then Strobus beat me in the B finals to go back up.
And then Justin, I don't know about his either.
What bracket was Justin in? 3?
Yeah.
I don't remember who was.
Yeah,
I think that was Sean's.
Throwing during that. Yeah. It was Sean's. So does that mean Sean is who he played in the final?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right. Who were some of the other like top seeds?
I mean, the top 10 seeds were Garrett Knighting, Michael Barton, Eli Morton, you, Dan Brad Nielsen, Dylan, Tyler Flynn, Justin Reese, myself, and Joe Devine. That was the top 10 seeds.
I know Dan Brynildson was in our bracket. I think I beat him in the A semis to go to Dylan.
All right. What was after Hatchet? Big X?
Yeah. Big X was first thing in the morning. Big X was probably one of my best disciplines last year, and it was
Not so much.
awful for Worlds. Me and John both had rough Big X days.
Let's see. I lost a lot of games in Big X, but just squeaked by somehow. Sebastian Arnold, Steven Thorgerson, Zach Strobus, Leo Bernata all finished tied ninth. Ben Zoyce and Micah Rita tied for 7. Rob Keller and Kevin Campbell tied for 5th.
So fun watching Rob.
Yeah, Neil Rust and Tyler Flynn tied for 3rd. And then Dylan 2nd, and I won.
You took home your second Big X
Yeah,
World Championship?
I think first time we've had 2 repeats, but that took a year off.
That's right. Yeah, Dylan also second Hatchet.
Yep. And then last thing is Hatchet Duels.
Hatchet Duels, yep. Let's see here. I don't know how they say it, but I would say it Pellin.
I just wasn't even going to do any team names.
Oh, you weren't?
No.
All right, so Scott Brindle and Aaron Waycaster finished tied 5th with Ricky Williams and David Lowe.
Thanks.
And then tied for 3rd was Thaddeus Shipley and Wes Powell. And also Tyler Hunt and Brett Jerbeck. So they were in the finals last year. Missed going back to the finals because they had to compete against a team they lost to in the finals last year, Flowbros, who ended up 2nd place this year, which was John Depke and Tyler Flynn. And then 1st place was Joe Devine and Lucas winning his 5th? Fourth Duels World Championship. That's right, 3 with Hayden and 1 with Joe. So
Joe's got a coin coming to him. That was all he wanted.
Yeah, he wanted his champ coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
So Killshot Crew also the final round of their finals. Um, First game they won 53-52. Then the second game tied at 49, where they both double dropped like on
That's
purpose
right.
on throw four. So they tied at 49 and went to overtime and lost in overtime. And then they tied at 50 and lost in overtime.
Yeah, that sucks. That's a heartbreaker.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean they were, right there.
It sucks too because like that's kind of the same situation or similar situation to what you guys were last year, where it was you and Hayden were in the bracket with Tyler and John.
Yep.
And so
That's how it
that
goes.
kind of sucks.
The year before that, we were in the same bracket as Michael and Colby,
That's
and
right.
we had played them
In the finals
previous
the year before. Yeah.
on ESPN. So it always happens that happens that way typically because of it just kind of depends on how the teams are, like if they travel enough to do anything. So like it'll be interesting to see what happens with Tyler and John, like if they go to enough tournaments to keep a second seed, like if they can keep the one seed,
Right.
or if they end up, you know, dropping a few seeds and not being, uh, you know,
Seeded quite as high.
end up, yeah, like duels is always weird seeding just because of like teams are far away from each other and don't get to throw seasons, so that's not really like a
Yeah, one of
secondary.
the only ones. I mean, I guess Thaddeus and Wes probably throw a fair amount together, but like Tyler and Brett, they're regular league duels partners, so they throw a lot together.
And then I mean Hayden and I got to for a
Yeah,
while, but
right.
already the one for those years, so it didn't really change much. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see that, and then kind of the same thing for I don't know how knife is always seeded so weird, so I don't really know.
Oh, for
That one
sure.
isn't as big of an ordeal. It's like the first team and the season and other stuff like that. So, but yeah, that was Worlds.
Yep, that was Worlds. Anything else about Worlds that you want to chat about? Like anything like that? Did you watch the broadcast at all?
Yeah, did anybody watch the broadcast? People that are still tuning in with us, we're about 30 minutes in, but
Yeah, we got
uh,
quite a few still.
if you watched the broadcast, what were your thoughts, feedback, things like that? Um, Better than the last year, better than 2 years ago, if you watched that, or think it went downhill a little without ESPN. I don't know. I haven't talked to a lot of people about it necessarily to see what people think. Um, yeah, same for you, Joseph. It was cool to throw with a bunch of people in Jersey that I don't usually get to throw with, and had time to, you know, talk to a couple of people. I don't think Thorgerson and I had ever
Oh,
really got
okay.
to sit down and talk.
We got
And
like 4 or 5 at the same time, or 3 at the
yeah,
same time. All right, so a bit rough.
all right, Morton, a little rough. Depends on. We want honesty. Yeah, I mean, we just want to. I mean, we can talk about it. I mean,
Should have left in the banner test. Yeah, that was weird.
I so what's funny is that banner test is actually what was up at like 7 a.m. in the morning because when they did my interview, they asked if they were like, "Oh, should we go, you know, do it in there?" And they were like, "I don't know, let's go look and see how far along they are." And banner test is what was up
Yeah,
already. So
that's like the stock image or
yeah,
stock thing that comes up on
just
those.
like
Like
the
that's like
thing
what
that's
popped
already
up
the
when we put
correct
installed a
size.
digital sign out front of one of our um, outside of our bike and fitness store. That's what it said on it whenever you first turn it on. It would like rotate between the logo and banner test. So
Yeah. Were there any teams or throwers that surprised you at Worlds? Um,
Yeah, I think so. I think that Kenson's meatballs. I mean, both of those guys are good throwers, but like what surprised me about them was like their throws were so good and so like in sync that they had extremely little mistakes. So like I thought that was awesome because knife tools usually there's some mistakes. Everyone has some mistakes. I didn't really see any, at least until they got to the broadcast, which is to be expected.
um, yeah, I was trying to look to see like, I mean, I think in my bracket for duels, I thought the tied fifth in actually in both
Brindle and
brackets tied
Waycaster,
fifth.
and
Yeah, Scott Brindle and Aaron Waycaster were my group, which like I know they both are, solid throwers, especially the 12-foot and everything.
yeah.
But I think if I had looked at the bracket, there might have been other teams that I would have thought, you know, that we would have played in the A final over them. But they were throwing great. And then
I think Big Axe, like Leo Bernardo, like was seated very low, which he had been good at the beginning of the year and stuff too. But
yeah,
like,
I wasn't super surprised. I think he probably surprised a bunch of other people
sure,
that hadn't been to tournaments and seen him throw
I was happy for Rob.
currently.
I thought Rob did awesome. But also he threw really well in Denver, and he's been a solid Big Axe thrower for a while.
Here we go. We got some people. All right. So, um, ESPN puts its own flair on everything. The broadcast had a huge pause due to target issues or something before your first throw, Lucas, right before they couldn't figure out the lights. Yeah, there were a couple of issues with some stuff like that I thought. There were like some pauses and then like the stream started and then it went black for a little bit and a couple of things that because they did it live, they, couldn't edit out or do anything about. Um, but yes, Kevin, that was what I saw the worst of was the some of the cameras looked like they were, like I don't know.
So I think they were using the ESPN team that they had, or the company that does the ESPN cameras, and I think they were also using cameras from the other stream people that were there, and
I
that's
didn't know
why they were
that
too
the
sick.
other stream people did anything, but yeah, the quality between the cameras was just kind of it was so apparent that it was kind of hard to watch sometimes when they would
Yeah,
switch to the big like the shot that had everything in it from the back. That camera looked like a webcam basically, and it
yep.
was like super blown out, like you couldn't even see the markings on the targets because it just turned it all to just white. Um,
Then
so
they
I
had
think
like the target view cameras only that were like very like warm
yeah.
compared to the others.
Yeah, so it would have been, I think some of that stuff was maybe just kind of rushed or didn't get enough time to like get them all the light. Yeah, when it had to adjust to lighting. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that was it. Obviously the issue with them having fucking disco lights while I was trying to throw wasn't ideal. Um, but is what it is. Oh, I was gonna try and find. I was gonna post a link since they talked about the banner test. Um,
Yeah, if you wanted a banner test shirt,
yeah,
they are
we got
available.
them.
Also, the Touch by Tommy summer camp shirts.
I'm just gonna post the limited edition link so that.
There you go.
But yeah, if you're looking for a top banner test shirt or Touch by Tommy summer camp shirt, they're both on there. Yeah, I think
Did it feel
Sebastian said
different
they'd
as a
only thrown
thrower?
one season,
Right.
so which Kyle and I had not thrown a season last year that counted for it. So
Yeah, we just threw tournaments.
yeah. Oh, Kevin has a shirt. Kevin is a top banner test. Um, Yeah, I think did it feel different as a thrower? Yeah, it definitely did. I mean, just because like you go to do the interview and it's, it's not an ESPN interview. But then also like, yeah, we
Yeah,
know
we
that
know.
you're talking about Kenson and Matt. I don't know where you got confused that you thought we didn't
Yeah,
think you
that's
were
why
talking.
that's why he said that we didn't throw a season at all.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, as a thrower, it definitely was different.
Did it
Um,
feel different at all because the rigging was different?
um, I don't think like too much. I think just like the way that things were like planned, like
Because
was
the
also
lighting was also like a lot lower. I didn't know if it was like if
yeah.
it felt hotter because the lighting was lower.
Ma Matthew said the broadcasters seemed like they were just thrown into the seat and said, "Hey, do this." Yeah, I haven't. I'll be honest, I haven't watched all of it from front to back. But there were definitely times where you could tell that most of the people on there had never done an actual broadcast before. Um,
Yeah, the biggest thing is that it was, even though it was set up as a live stream, it felt like it was a live stream at a tournament, which is very different from a broadcast
yeah,
thing, which is not to say that anybody did a bad job. It's just that there is a thing to say when you've obviously none of them are professional broadcasters. So,
sure. Yeah, so I mean, not really poking at them. It's not really their fault. That's just not what they do typically. So
right.
they were kind of learning to do it. Yeah.
Sure.
Um, yeah, and yeah, but they did only there were only certain wins where certain things happened during the broadcast too. Like both of the times that I was a part of winning, there like the fog machines didn't go off, and there wasn't
The
like
lights were didn't go or
yeah, it was just like I don't know. So I think I don't know. I wasn't a part of enough of it to say like, oh, they needed one more person to help them like organize things and be, like make sure they're doing a lot of stuff or
well, the rigging was definitely different because at every other world championships before they've had this big like square like framing that goes around the whole thing.
yeah,
At this one, they had a like a clamped pulley driven thing that held a smaller rig of lights that set above the throwers. It also had mics above them, which was weird because I don't feel like you could hear anything more from those.
no, I don't know that they really use them. Doing the trophy presentation after was also kind of dumb, like Mike Morton just said. It didn't really like make sense to do it there, I don't feel like.
Correct.
I don't
Especially because
really
like
know.
the after party could have used that.
It could have, but I think they have learned that people aren't going to that.
True.
So I don't know. Um, but yeah, I mean it was definitely different without ESPN. I don't see ESPN coming back, and I definitely don't think the product that was produced is going to get picked up by anybody. It just
No.
isn't of a quality to do that. Um, placebo mics, yeah, just thinking about picking up, but not picking up any audio. Yeah, but I mean, overall, the weekend it went okay. Um, as far as running back and forth, for me personally, it was probably like I felt it was the most nervous I'd been about a Sunday in a long time, just because um, I really did not want to get on there and not win anything. So being on there for four things was cool, but there was an added pressure to not go 0 and 4.
For sure.
And then especially losing, being the first match of the day and losing it really
Do you
sucked.
also feel like now when you get up there too that like you're just expecting like what rule is not going to get followed this time?
Yeah, I mean,
Because
because
it's been
I don't know.
multiple years.
Yeah, if anybody was watching, like the crazy thing is there's like set rules for the broadcast, and they give you a list of them usually before. And one of them was that now instead of there being a timer from when your opponent throws, the timer was when both of you cross the line. Um, and we were told it was 15 seconds, so that really affected me and Dylan because I wanted to. Well, I was like, well, I'll just stand here for 15 seconds because he was letting me throw first, and I was like, then I won because we're both going to get a fault. Um, but then when I asked about it afterwards, they were like, oh no, I'm not going to count. That would be crazy. And I was like, well, there's a bunch of other ways. There's these things like called stopwatches, and there's clocks, and there's like all these other things that could count for you if you wanted. But but then also like Dylan asked me like, what was that? And I was like, well, it was over 15 seconds. And like Dylan wasn't trying to be disrespectful. He was trying to give me my moment because if I had hit that kill, I would have won. And so it wasn't his fault. But then he was like, that's all he could think about as well was like, oh, well, I wasn't trying to do, he wasn't trying to be malicious or anything. It was just that was what, we had done in the past. So
But see, so the problem
just
with what Sebastian said there too is, and I think you said this at one point, and I mean I'm the same way. Like when you play any kind of sports or you do any kind of thing that's a competition, like, and there are rules, like you expect the rules to be followed.
yeah, it
Like
just
even if
gets,
you don't agree with them.
yeah, it just gets kind of hairy whenever it's like, um, you don't know what rules they are or aren't going to follow, and you know,
And I think it's also weird too, because like if like you ask them if they were going to do it, like did they really even remember that those were rules? Because it's a rule that they just do one time a year,
yeah.
and so
So I
like
don't
if
know,
they don't even remember, it's kind of a pain.
but it happened. It's over. Craig wants to know if is there anything special that I feel like I do to prepare for throwing on the broadcast. Um, Definitely not anything special, but maybe I should start doing something special because it almost feels like after it's over that I didn't put enough pressure on myself to do well in Hatchet because I'm trying to so hard like not think about that's the only one that I haven't won, and so I'm trying to not add pressure, but then I like take it too easy. Like I think I need that pressure, and so I'd say honestly, and this is like first world problems or whatever, but like the worst part is that I don't know what to practice for Sunday morning when we all meet up. Like, I don't want to put too much emphasis on one thing or not enough on another. So I try to like throw a little bit of everything.
Do you think that the
And
pressure's not there for Hatchet sometimes, maybe subconsciously, because like all the other ones, it's just a single game, where Hatchet like you realistically have to
maybe,
play two to win it.
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I know that when it's done, and this also sound bad, but like knives, I didn't care. Like since I had won two of them, I was like
Sure.
my guard was down. Like I was just whatever, just going through the motions kind of thing with knife. Um, and I think that it's just I don't know, it's just different. Like being up there for a couple of things, it's like I don't know what to I don't know that I have the capacity to be like, oh, I want to win all four of these and I want to put pressure on myself to win all four of these. So instead I think my default is like just try to win one or two or just, you know, do do at least do well in something so that this wasn't a waste. And so I think maybe that's the wrong mentality looking back, but who knows? Maybe I'll get the opportunity again to try for more than one thing. Maybe I won't, but I think I will approach it differently the morning of and leading up to it if I
Maybe you
do.
should just do Hatchet.
Yeah, so that's the
Like,
hard part is like, yeah, but then what if I don't make it?
right, right.
Then it's
Then
like,
it's like,
well,
shoot, I
that's
only
what I
only
do.
did one thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Sam says relay was a blast. Yes, it was. I kind of forgot about that. So on Wednesday night, for those that got there a little bit early, wanted to practice a little bit, we did a relay style tournament at Lumberjack Johnny's, and it was good fun.
If you wanted to see a master class in how to screw up everything, you could have watched me throw relay. It was pretty bad.
No, it was cool. It was crazy because I couldn't do it on Friday or whenever we threw regular knives. Yeah, Friday.
Oh
But
yeah, it was wild watching that.
couldn't miss two spin kills for knife during the relay. So it was kind of it was fun to kind of like be confident. I was like, I'm gonna hit this, so it doesn't matter, and I was just smacking them. But yeah, but overall, Worlds was good. I think I think most people had a good time. Um, I didn't. There weren't like any huge controversies. I don't think that like there maybe have been in the past or issues per se.
I don't think
Yeah, I
so.
think I just ran out, Sean.
Yeah, I can't recall any major issues.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. But all right. So what was the next tournament?
The next tournament was Bulls over the Passaic
All
at
right.
Jersey X House.
Oh, wrong direction on the pictures. Spaghetti was the next thing. All right.
Hell yeah.
So
I'm having that tonight. I brought some sauce home with me.
um let's see. We started off with knife and knife duel or yeah, knife was first there. And in third place, Cheyenne Spafford?
I think that's correct, yeah.
Is it Spafford? I don't know. Then Tommy, then Sebastian took home the win. Easy win against Tommy. In knife duels, the reigning world champions got taken down by two teams.
That's right.
Uh, First, Cheyenne and Steven Thorgerson beat them and put them in B. And then Tyler and I dropped to B and beat them as well. So yeah, then so Tyler and I took the win. Cheyenne and Steven took second, and Tommy and Sebastian took third, which was good for Tommy because he's really good at getting third there. He has a board and everything that he signs every time he gets third. And then I think next was was the AM was Saturday morning, and a new thrower to me. I never met him before, but Jose Lopez was
Yep.
there. He throws out of Palmetto Axe, where John Cotter throws out
Yeah,
of.
so I think I saw him at Worlds. I think I saw at least the
Okay,
name I feel like I recognize from Worlds.
gotcha. Yeah, it was the first time I'd met him. Got to talk to him. It was cool. Albert Dubé, good.
Dewey sounds
Got
better.
second. Yeah. And then Burger Lacey took home the win. Burger, it might be time to be a pro, my guy. It might be time. Um,
Well, I
but
mean, it's essentially the same.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the same. Yeah. And then in the open, we had third place Josh Horner, who was throwing well all day. Mark Tennant, and then myself took him the win. Um, Next was Hatchet Duels, and in third place we had Chase and David Limbo, and then Austin Wilkins and Josh Horner took second, and then first place Josh and Sebastian taking home the win.
Brown rice hibachi.
Tyler and I had quite possibly the worst drop I've ever been a part of, where game three, like throw three, we didn't hit each other. We both hit the bullseye, didn't touch, didn't even seem like our blades hit or anything. It just didn't stick. Like it was just the saddest drop I've ever had. It was like we can't even laugh about it. We can't blame it on anybody. We just sucked. It sucked. But congrats to Brown Rice Hibachi for taking the win. And then Big X, which we were thinking we might not get to finish before my flight, but ended up finishing in time. Third place Joseph Hovemeyer. Second place myself and first place Tyler. Um, Tyler and I had already decided to split, so we just threw one kill shot for, or two kill shots to see who would win. So Tyler won. Tyler almost went perfect on kill shots for the weekend, but he missed the last one. Sucker.
I don't know if what that emoji looks like on your screen, Sebastian, but on Restream, that's white rice, not brown.
Yeah, you got to work on that. But that was Jersey Axe House crushed it. If you've ever been to Jersey Axe House, it's a smaller venue, a little kind of a tight space. They have 4 lanes, but 3 can be used for like big axe or knife or knife
They have
tools.
back to back, so
Yeah, but I mean, it ran super efficient. It was actually the biggest tournament of the year so far, other than Worlds. So pretty
yeah,
cool to see.
we
Uh,
went to that tournament at the end of last year too. There, so
yeah, yeah, they
they
know
seem
what
to
they're doing.
do a good job.
Yeah, so if you are ever considering going to a tournament in that area, would highly recommend. They will have another one towards the end of the year
Yep,
as well. So go check them out. Um, yeah, it ran very, very efficient. So it was good.
that pizza was phenomenal. Did you get that pizza from that place that we went to?
No, they had a guy come in and he cooked them there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it was cool. I didn't actually eat any, but did eat some chicken. There was like a
From
hot
that
chicken
gas station
place.
place.
No, it was a
Uh,
hot chicken place, and it was good. It was called Fluffy's.
Fluffies.
Yeah, it was good. It was hot chicken on mac and cheese and fries.
Oh man, that sounds great.
Yeah, it was good. The only thing that I would have done differently is I wish I would have gotten it like a little bit later because I didn't end up eating all the fries and stuff because I was throwing.
Oh
But
sure.
I ate all the chicken after because it was still good. It was good.
Yeah, we still when at some point if we do another event in like Indianapolis or something. Did you ever go to Hot Boys?
No,
That's like the one that was like looks like Jack Brown's on the inside,
yeah,
but it's super good. We should go there at
but
some
it's like
point. But
wings, right? It's
no,
not.
no, no, it's hot chicken.
Oh, I thought the one. Wait, is there another one
There's Dave's Hot Chicken there, and then Hot
in
Boys.
Indy?
Yeah.
Oh, I for some reason I thought it was wings that everybody was talking about getting at.
No. Oh, you're talking about Ale Emporium.
Yeah, I think that's what
That's the
it
one
is.
that's wings. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, Hot Boys is like they have one location downtown. They have one location like on the north side, and then like all their other locations are in like Southern California. But it's cool spot. But Matthew
Um,
says what tournament is next? That'd be O Town Throwdown.
O Town Throwdown in like 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something like that.
Yep.
Um,
But the next tournament we did after the Bulls over the Passaic,
was this weekend,
ThrOhio.
ThrOhio. Oh, also, just before we get off Jersey, just so you know, if you try to save $50 by not bringing your bag home, but you leave your keys in it, it actually cost about $450. So I wouldn't recommend that for anybody.
Yeah,
Because
that
I left
sucks.
my keys with Tyler Flynn, and I realized it about the time I got on the airplane.
You left your bag with Tyler Flynn, which
Yeah, I left the
happened
bag,
to
which
have your
had my
keys.
keys in it. Yeah, and so yeah, that was a bad idea.
Yeah, that's rough.
But hey, it's over. Oh, also, I finally got paid from Worlds.
I don't know why you have an issue. I every
Bro,
time
it's not me.
I signed the
It was
check. I mean anybody
20,
like
yeah, 20 other people had that same problem. It
I
wasn't
sign the
me.
check and it goes right in their bank account.
Yeah, but
And
what
I'm using like a bank that's like local. That's like
yeah, yeah, like some banks like to be honest, this is the first time I've had an issue.
yeah, but your issue isn't it with like Bank of America?
Yeah, like the first couple of times I've taken it to, I take that back. I took it to my credit union because it was just down the street one time, like a year ago, 2 years ago or something. And they were like, oh, it'll take like 2 weeks to get the money. I'm like, oh, okay. So I just took it to Bank of America and they've been cashing them. And that's been working for the last 2, 3 years. and I had no problems. And then all of a sudden, this time when I took it, which I did go to a different branch than I normally go to, so I'm thinking maybe that had something to do with it, but
They probably tariffed your check.
I just couldn't make it to the original branch before they would close.
Yeah.
So yeah, just couldn't get it. So, but all is well, got it. Everything's good. But yeah, don't leave your keys in your bag if you're not taking your bag with you. But yes, this weekend, ThrOhio had a lot to offer. Probably the most I've ever thrown at a tournament.
Yeah, lots of throws.
Um,
I mean, that or the one in Cleveland. Cleveland, we threw a lot too, but
yeah, but this was like Saturday
because
was
of the
weak.
best of because of the two groups and then the best of seven thing, yeah, that was definitely a lot of throwing.
Well, but the best of seven actually ends up not being that much.
That's true
It's only
because
five more
it's actual
throws.
scored. Yeah,
Yeah, it's five more throws than if you did a regular best of three waddle, right? 35 versus 30.
correct.
So, I mean, and if you never go to all of it, then it's actually less than three games of that. So it was cool. It was it was interesting to do. It was definitely a different format, and I really enjoyed it, and I think most of the people that I talked to really enjoyed it.
Yes,
Um,
and I agree. But people who say they enjoy it, why aren't you going to more of them? That's
well, I
the
mean,
thing.
we've only had one other one that had.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like a lot of people saying like, oh, we like different, we like something that's different and not as like serious and but then like when we ask people if they're going, they're like, well, it's not sanctioned. I don't get any circuit points, so
Yeah. Yeah. I do think like the cool thing about it is that there were a few people that primarily throw ITF that showed up.
I thought
Um,
that was really cool.
and I think that if we continue to, if they do something like that again, or put something together similar that they hopefully more ITF people would show up, once the word gets around and stuff, gets, talked about a little bit more. I think there's a chance that that could be the big difference is that more ITF throwers show up, kind of more of a community thing. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we can get um, if they decide to do that again, or I don't know if they have plans or what's going on. But it was fun. Like Mike just said, huge value for the money, because I mean you got to throw in three tournaments, assuming that you did everything. There were three tournaments on Friday, which
What was
was
Friday?
uh, Friday was
Big X knife twisted
Big
duels.
Axe, Knife, or sorry, Knife, then Big Axe, then Twisted Duels,
Okay, yep.
um, which was great. And then
Twisted duels, you mean?
yes,
Yeah, twisted
what
duels
did
was
I say?
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so did all of
Well,
those.
you said that was great. I just thought you meant didn't know what you meant was
Yeah,
great.
and then on Saturday you got to throw one round of basically seeding where you would throw at least four games, four matches, so 60 throws there. Then you played again and did 60 more throws, so 120 throws. So still better than your average tournament, even if you go,
Significantly.
2-2, for example. And then after or in between your groups or after your groups, you could do what they called off center games, which are these cool like challenge skill targets, which was fun. Um, do all of those. One of those took 50 throws basically to do. So another 50
If
throws worth of throwing.
for you and Wellman, it was more than that. Wasn't there 14 things on each
Yeah,
one of
but
those to
that's
climb?
yeah, 14 times 3, what's that, 42? And then if you factor in a couple of misses, so
Yeah,
I
that's
think that
true.
was around
Yeah,
50
that's true.
throws. But yeah, there was those fun games, and then based upon how you did on Saturday with the hatchet, you got divided into different tournaments for Sunday. So
You,
there was a
you skipped
pro.
talking about how the second round was, though.
What? Oh, well, I mean, I just said how many throws it was, but
Oh,
first round was seeding. Second round robin group play was actually wins and losses. And then that determined your seeding for the tournaments on Sunday. So the tournaments on Sunday, there were like six of them or something. There was pro, AM, women's, senior, youth,
that was it.
maybe just five.
Yep.
So five tournaments on Sunday. So it was cool. And some of the for that, like if you were in the pro tournament but you were also a senior, you could throw in both. Or if you were, in the AM and you were a youth or pro and women's, you could throw in both. Sorry, experienced, not senior.
It doesn't say
Yeah.
that on the bracket in score Holio.
So yeah, it was cool because you could throw in multiple tournaments. Had just got to throw a lot, which was nice.
Yeah.
I think Craig, there were probably around 50, between 40 and 50 people.
Yeah. So for ThrOhio, it was much smaller than in the past, but it was still because of the amount of throws you were doing, and honestly, even if there were 100 people, I still think it would have been able to be done all in the same amount of time.
Yeah. Um. Oh, oh, wait, passed.
I'm trying to pull up the target or something.
I was just gonna see how many people there were. So there were 40 people essentially in the AM and pro. So, and then I think there were a few youth that threw on top of that. So like 45. There were probably a couple of those that didn't throw in anything else. And then I think there were also a few women that didn't throw in anything else. So I think there were around 50 people total. So that was cool. I
Yeah, and
assume
there were, and like you said, there were ITF throwers that were there. Um, there were just waddle throwers. There were both
yep.
throwers there, both in terms of they throw both ITF and waddle. Yeah, it was fun.
But first thing that happened was knife. Third place was Hagen Gooden, 14-year-old. Second place, Tyler Flynn. First place, myself. Next up was Big Axe, and exact same. Third, second, and first. Hagen got third, Tyler second, myself first. And then Twisted Duels was after that. Mike and Tristan got third. Dustin and Justin got second, and they actually formed their team a few minutes before we started. And then myself and Tyler won. And then we had all the fun tournaments. Let's see. I'll just do top to bottom. Women's third place. Are they tied for third?
No. That's where I said I just copy and pasted from the other ones.
Oh, okay. I was like, why does it say T3? Jeff Ritter got third, Lisa Skurlock in second, and then Caitlin Garrow taking first place. Experienced was Anatoly, Keith, and Mike. Mike Morton taking first place there. Um, and the youth, we had Will getting third place, Brendan in second, and Hagen in first. And then the AM tournament was Anatoly getting third place, Greg in second, and Peter in first place. And then for the pro, Justin got third, Tyler second, and I took first place. It was definitely different for those. Like Matthew just said in the chat here, the different targets to throw and the transition was a great challenge and very fun. I definitely did worse on some of the things than I thought I would. But
Same.
yeah, changing the targets as often as we were was definitely a challenge of of skill.
I think I only saw, except for there was like a few hard boards that they changed out. I think I only saw one board get changed all weekend.
Yeah, I mean, because you're aiming at, you know,
A different thing every single throw.
15, there's 15 different things to aim at, and you're only aiming at each of them once.
Yeah.
Or sorry, there's not 15. The IETF one you aim at 3 times. So there's 12 different things to aim
Yeah,
at.
it's huge though.
So that one was starting to get torn up, but again, yeah, I mean, it's the size of a basketball basically. So
Which is stupid though sometimes, like because sometimes it felt so easy, and other times it was just like, man,
yeah,
this is stupid.
yeah. I think everybody struggled with something different, Matthew. So like the big circle, some people struggled with. It was I struggled the most with the waddle one, which is crazy.
Yeah, but so the waddle one was modified.
It was, but like that wasn't the problem.
And I actually liked that.
I couldn't hit the top.
That it was modified. The top one?
Yeah, I could not hit the top bullseye for some reason.
Yeah, I had trouble hitting like the last day. So I guess Sunday I had trouble with waddle as well, like hitting the center. But I did not miss a single kill shot or clutch.
Well, glad I didn't play you because I missed a lot of them.
But it doesn't matter if you throw 3 threes.
Oh, well, yeah, you shouldn't have thrown 3 threes.
Now, the kill shots and the clutches were only 1 point and 2 points. I mean, and I definitely hit more ones probably than twos. But yeah, the way that I do like I think that if there was ever going to be a change made, I liked the sizing.
Yeah, it was essentially what I suggested.
Yeah, the 1 inch.
Yeah, I mean, just having all 3 rings around so that there's actually a difference between a 4 and a 5 and a...
Well, it would have been a 6, 5, and a 4.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
there's an actual difference between a 4 and a 5, like, or, you know, inaccuracy. Because, like,
right.
A 4 is way... You can have a terrible throw and still get a 4, but the 5 is just like, I don't know.
Yeah, so when I say I threw 3 threes too, those threes were the size of a 5 ring, so
yeah,
didn't throw like that bad.
Well, it's 4 inches, so it was a little bit bigger, but basically,
some people's 4 inches is another person's 8 inches. You never know.
Which we learned by that tape measure game I was playing. Yeah, I think like some people struggled with it. I mean, I only threw 1 3 on the IETF, and it was like got caught in my hand. It was just a weird throw, but I had a lot of 4s where I would barely bleed out.
Barely stupid.
Just the top of my blade would be touching or something. But I think the most popular target was the square target.
100%.
Every person, no matter really skill wise or youth or experienced or women's, I felt like that everybody was picking the square target to go back to.
Yeah.
Because the way the format worked is whoever was losing in the set once you'd played all 3 then got to pick the next game that you would play. And I feel like a lot of times people picked the square target. It was the one that I saw the most when I was judging or helping.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was like a subconscious choice because like they thought the thing that they had to hit was a bigger thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like when they got to throws 4 and 5 anyways, because like that's the only one that you were just changing height on, where like with Waddle and ITF you were going to a smaller thing on throws 4 and 5.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what, like made people want to do it or if that was the one that they just felt like had the best
gameplay
chance, like skill wise, like that one predicted skill better or depicted rather
for sure definitely for sure depicts skill better.
But I don't know, it was definitely interesting. I will say like the ITF clutches were easier than I thought they were going to be, but
I absolutely agree.
I was standing still, so we weren't stepping, so that could have a lot to do with it. But I hit more premier clutches than I thought I would.
Yeah, I don't think they would be as easy if I had to like keep my foot on whatever That
Yeah.
back, what is it, like essentially 15 feet?
I think it's a little bit past 15 that you have to have your foot behind.
Yeah, I
Like
couldn't.
8.
I couldn't stand where I normally stand doing that
Yeah.
because too short.
I would definitely step, but
Yeah, does
does
having
having a big beard make you a better axe thrower? Asking for a friend. I don't think so.
no.
I don't think it hurts though either.
Yeah, the only thing I think having a beard makes you better at is taking a punch, and that's proven scientifically.
Yeah. That's the only reason I keep mine, just in case.
Yeah, that's why
But
like Vikings and stuff had big beards. Was that like that's like scientifically like if you have a beard and you're taking a punch, like it does cushion minutely. Obviously, I mean if you're taking a punch from like Francis Ngannou, like it doesn't matter if you got a beard, your head's gonna fall off.
why didn't you just say like one of the Paul brothers?
Eh. Well, one of them throws fake punches, and one
Oh,
of
whatever.
his matches are rigged. Well, I meant Logan throws fake punches
Oh,
because he's
no.
in WWE.
Yeah. But any anything else people wanted to talk about? Anything going on? Anybody that's watching? Are you going to? Are we going to see you in Florida?
O-Town Throwdown, May 23rd through 25th
Yep. So just
at Axe Trap.
18 days,
Phew.
2.5 weeks, little over 2.5 weeks. Sorry. Um, Whoa, it's actually really cool. I didn't realize you could see the game log if you go back to these tournaments. Jesse will be there. All right.
What do you mean?
I just clicked on one of the tournaments from this weekend. I clicked on the pro bracket,
Oh yeah,
and you can scroll down. You can see the log
yeah,
for every single game. So, like, because Tyler and I played in the finals and he was in A, it has all of our games just individually. Trying to see what the highest score was. Ooh, Tyler had a 30 to my 28 in one of the games. So 30 is the highest, and 28 is the second highest I see on here. And then I threw 128 against Justin. And then, yeah, looks like we didn't have any good games in the finals. Okay, Catherine's coming. Jeff is planning on being there. I don't know what that means. We need some commitment. Don't plan on it, just be there. Um,
So Jesse asks,
oh,
you got any advice on nerves when you're throwing? I know with experience they're easier to manage.
for sure. I mean, experience is it. I think the best thing that I can say to do to try and prepare is like kind of role play that is like put yourself in that position when you're practicing. Like, oh, I'm playing against, whoever that you think you'd be more nervous against, that, somebody not in your league or whoever, and act as if you're throwing against that person when you're practicing throwing a match. Um, and then it won't feel as out of the ordinary when you do actually throw against that person.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Sometimes that can be hard to do. Like I've definitely tried to do that. I think that it's very hard for me personally to get into that mindset. So like, and I know that not everybody's in the same situation, but like just going to tournaments, like that aren't like your league tournament or like like just a local tournament with people you throw with all the time.
Yeah.
So trying to get out and competing against people you don't know, because I think that'll help. I think that helps more, at least like I said, for me personally. But like I said, that can be expensive if you don't have the ability to do that. But going to a lot of tournaments has definitely helped me with nerves. And don't pay attention to the brackets. Make sure you're in the brackets, but put your phones away. Don't look at the app. Don't look at all that stuff. Just throw.
Kevin was asking if people are going to the ITF knife tournament, and no, I'm not going to Canada on a Tuesday.
I don't think that I would want to do an IATF tournament at this point, because of like pretty much not having the ability to justify your trip.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
outside
like,
of competition, like
they're going to be able to drive, so it doesn't. They're just going for the knife part. But
like the payouts from IATF tournaments are just like there is no payout once you. I mean, you have to win essentially.
And then the let's see, Axe Society's regional in June. Unfortunately, not. I also can't do that. I also couldn't do the knives, ITC knives, even if I wanted to, because that'll be when I'm on my first trip for a new job. So I'll be gone most of the first 3 weeks of June. So I can't go to the tournament in at Iron Axe as well. So wah, wah. Yeah, they're just doing like a road trip. Some of the people from Jersey area.
Nice.
And then no, I have seen the knives, the WKTL knives, but haven't thrown them. I think one of them or two of them are even technically illegal.
Illegal.
Exactly like that. Just
Yeah,
with
so
how thin they are.
they'll have to change the rules for
Yeah,
sure.
they'll have to adjust the thinness.
So
Criteria.
also, if you guys have been watching our shows, our episodes, like I don't know, 15 episodes ago, we had this little like goofy break-in commercial that we put up that talked about like teasing some new knives here soon. And that was actually supposed to be we were supposed to get those knives so we could test the knives and review the knives, and then they never came. So
And yeah, I'd seen those knives maybe 6 months before that as well.
yeah.
But yeah, that's just a picture of them previously. But yeah, that they I'll be interested to see how they throw. I mean, I think the shark looking one is going to be the one that a lot of people gravitate towards.
Yeah,
Interesting to see.
they're all cool looking knives. Obviously that oil slick paint thing on there, like that's gonna be I think the hardest part is that like if you don't rough up like at least the top edge, like if they're perfectly slick and mirrored like that, if the board is loose at all, it's gonna want to slip.
Tommies are like that too, and that's fine.
Yeah, but you just have to like just scratch them.
Yeah. The I think they just are going to cost so much. I bet they're $200 for a set.
Yeah, they're gonna get tariffed like crazy.
But yeah, I think they're just going to be expensive because I think they're going to be like pro line knives.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be more expensive than the others by quite a bit.
they
Maybe
could get could maybe get around some of those tariffs though if they're savvy.
well,
I've heard
they
of
already have the knives, so
they already have the inventory.
oh, I'm sure they do.
You think so?
I would think. I mean, they're definitely not still getting made. I mean, it's been
No, I know that, but
so I don't think they'll have any issues with that. But maybe. But either way, I think just because they're pro, it won't matter about the tariff. Just that they're pro line, they're just going to be more expensive.
more expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it matters that they're like new knives or anything. Just that they're going to be a whole different category. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the pricing is on them. Definitely give them a shot. I mean, I also really like the Lobos, but I just don't want to get Lobos that I immediately have to
Get new ones.
Yeah. So also just don't want to spend like if it I don't think it's going to help me necessarily throw better. So I don't really think I don't really want to spend $100 and something for just to say I have new knives.
Yeah, like your only benefit for the Lobos is that you personally can stand closer.
Yeah, just a little too. It's not even like a ton,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really make a lot of sense for me to invest in those. Um, there is Canada in August at the Columbines.
Yep.
Don't think I'll be able to make that again, but we'll see. My work schedule's a little bit up in the air right now with the new job, so hoping to make it to Ironside. I still need to like verify that I can, but I'm pretty confident that I can go to that at the end of June, and then I don't know. I think my neck I
What's in
might
July?
I don't know if I'll have anything in July. It just depends
August
on
is
trips. But then yeah, gonna try to make
Throwdown.
the throwdown in California. So, but
I guess what do they call it?
what?
The Mighty Axe tournament is called SoCal Throwcal.
Yeah,
It's at the Throwdown Festival though.
correct. Yeah. So, all right. Well, anything else anybody wants to talk about? Yeah. Yeah. Ideas.
Going once.
Going twice. Uh-oh. Want to? I follow some guy that does really crazy parlays, and he apparently is doing a $10,000 parlay where he puts like $10 to 10,000, and a lot of the legs have already hit. Could be the one. Could be the one. I didn't place it, but ooh, U.S. Open. No idea. Haven't heard
Wouldn't y'all
anything
like
else
to
about
know?
it.
We would too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would be cool to find out more, but I haven't heard anything about it really. Um,
Yeah, we tried to ask as many questions as we could at Worlds and
yeah,
nothing.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's.
You would think by now that we would know something about a tournament in
I
August,
I don't know.
especially because I think wasn't it teased as potentially being the beginning of August?
Yeah, in August. I mean, either way, that's pretty close. We're talking 90 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's even gonna. Oh yeah, the darts has been
The,
announced for
yeah.
over 6 months.
Last October, the
Yeah,
darts was announced.
so, I mean, it's not happening there. I would almost guarantee at this point it's not happening there.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you think of them increasing the size of the outer bulls?
uh,
I think that at this point there's no reason to have an am and a pro or am and an open
yeah,
division.
yeah. I don't know. It doesn't really. It should be. They should be smaller. Um, and then there should be
But the center should also
smaller.
be the smaller.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They all of the bullseyes should be different. They should all be 1 inch. Is my without testing, just throwing numbers out there. They should be 1 inch, and then the 5 ring should be maybe 2 inches, and then the 4 ring should be like 3 inches.
So I mean, we did sort of test it this weekend.
Could even do 3.5 if you just like really want to leave it the same, so that you don't have to change too much. So you could do 3.5, 2.25, and 1 inch.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but
then
then
you
if,
can still change you could change or alter the scoring if you wanted to make a differentiation between am and open with
yeah,
that.
yeah, I think then you could even have the amateur be throwing on a different bullseye, or they could get rid of the 5 ring, and it could just be the larger ring could be fives. I mean, there would be options to play with things there. It would get a little bit confusing at first if you did something like that, but it would make it to where there was actually a difference between the two divisions.
Yeah, because I think especially at I think at the top of the amateur division, there's still going to be a lot of people who, especially with the bullseyes as big as they are now, that really should probably, be up a category.
I mean, you're also seeing, every week it feels like there's at least 164 a day.
Yeah.
I feel like there's seven people that post that, oh, I got my 64 finally. Some people even that didn't have 64s on the 2023 target. So, yeah, I don't know about that far, Scott. Going back to 2023 would be just as boring, and then it causes a lot more issues too, where the target gets just chewed up during a tournament so quickly, and
Yeah,
lots
that
of
was the thing about this weekend. That was, and the last tournament that we did with the squares too. Changing what you are throwing at every single throw is so much. It's so much more fun, and it does at some point it's going to make you a more skilled thrower because you're having to rely on aim rather than muscle memory and repetitive motion.
2025 target is easier than 23. Yeah, so there is an advantage for the 2025 target because the touch rule versus having to have it on both sides.
Correct.
So I think that part plays a big role in it. So yeah, I think that's an interesting take too. Same thing with duels. Duels has only gotten easier. Aside from not even the kills aren't even different. I was thinking for a second that they were, but they're not.
No.
So duels has only gotten easier since 2023.
Yep.
So yeah, just it'll be interesting to see kind of what if anything changes next year, but I don't see anything drastic changing.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine anything drastic.
But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, the kills is the only real difference, and it kind of sucks too because the 1 point changes things in a weird way, and
It does.
yeah, but
It was actually really weird when we started season 2 because it was right after Worlds, and we definitely had people go I thought the kill shots were supposed to be 6.
yeah,
Nope. 7.
But
7 one day, 6 the next. 4 days later, back to 7 points.
all right, well, I think that's about it. If there's anything else you guys would no more changes ever, Kevin. Yeah, we'll just leave it to where every single person is throwing 64s, and we'll just do overtime. Be perfect. Yeah, so if there's anything else you guys would like us to talk about next episode, leave it in the comments if you're watching this later. And yeah, we'll see you guys. Some of you in
Orlando.
Yeah, see you in Orlando. We got a cool Airbnb, so I'm gonna spend a couple of hours in the lazy river. That's my plan, at least. But all right, I'm gonna hop off here, go celebrate Cinco de Mayo the right way, and get some Taco Bell.
There you go.
And yeah,
All
see
right.
you guys next time.
See you guys next time.